Okie dokie. So, when I got back from California the second time, it was like literally fall. And I was like, oh wow, California doesn't really get this kind of foliage. So I was like in shock. I was like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I need to immediately go like hike and like go see some beautiful views with this foliage while it's still here. So that's exactly what I did. I found some more hikes in Connecticut, and I was very, very pleased to walk around in the fall foliage. Even though I only got a couple days of fall, it was very, very, very nice. But let's be real, at this point, I was pretty tired of Connecticut. I wanted to make sure I did all the hikes I wanted to and found all like the best places and, take my time with it. But I was pretty done with Connecticut at this point. I was ready to move on to the next state, although I wasn't sure if I would have time. And then I realized all I have is time, actually. I don't know why I always think that I'm going to spend like a week in some places because a lot of places are pretty boring. But I was really, really, really excited to see Vermont. I'm actually really excited for Vermont and Maine. I don't know why. A lot of people are like, what is out there? And I used to be that person too. And I would be like, what the fuck is in Vermont? Well, I'm going to go find out. So I'd finish up Connecticut, do a few more hikes just to make sure I really knocked everything out. This one in particular is Chauncey Peak. And I just happened to catch it like perfect timing for the sunset. And I made it down before dark too, so that was really nice. It wasn't a super long hike. I actually wasn't planning on doing the peak hike. I was actually just going to go walk around the water, but when I got there, I was like, fuck it. I'm already here. I might as well do the peak. So I went all the way up and no regrets. Then I went to Talcott Tower / Talcott Mountain. I actually wanted to do this because it was recommended and it's like one of like the few things to see in Connecticut. But the thing is they usually have a cost for your car or per person, something like that. Either way, you had to pay something, and I only do free stuff, as you guys know, unless stated otherwise. But I happened to find a hike that started in a different park that was free to park at. And there's no like parking lot or anything, it's just off the side of the road, but that's where the trail starts, and it pretty much goes all the way up to Talcott Tower, so I was able to do that. So I decided to get back on the road because I honestly was spending too many days at that truck stop. There's not a lot of places that you could sleep in Connecticut, so I was spending a lot of time at that truck stop because it felt safe and nice and I was just kind of used to it. But I kind of feel like the security guards started to recognize me because I would come in like every morning and wash my face and brush my teeth. Felt like my time was expiring, so it's time for me to go. So I head on to Vermont, and honestly the bottom of Vermont is like not that exciting. Like this was a vista point and I was like, this is like not great, but I did find some more hikes just around the area because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't want to just drive through the bottom part and miss out on anything, so I wanted to make sure I hit everything that I could find. I kind of ended up on like the border of New Hampshire and Vermont. I kind of just kept going back and forth, and I did this one hike. Well, I didn't complete it because it was kind of boring and the viewpoint was like this. That was just it. It was not that impressive. I believe this one was Wantantisket. Anyway, I was more impressed with the river because there was like a layer of like fog or like cloud just like hovering over it, and I just thought it was like the coolest thing. Like I've never seen anything like that. And then the sun was setting and it was getting dark, so. And I found a really nice place to sleep for the night. It was over by the marina, and it was really, really beautiful. I woke up to such a beautiful view, and I went to sleep with such a beautiful view as well. I don't even really quite remember exactly where this was. Clearly it wasn't that memorable. Again, bottom of Vermont and lower New Hampshire is not super, super exciting. Still beautiful, really nice to see the foliage. I still had fall at this point, but it was very soon after that the leaves became bare. I was just taking my time, and then I decided to head up a little bit more north. I was a little bit more impressed with this gorge, this gorgeous gorge. Gorges are always gorgeous, okay? This one is called Queechee Gorge? Queechee Gorge? I mean, the photos look better on all trails, but I did have a fun time taking little pictures and videos here, and I did meditate by the water. It was a little bit busy because it was a weekend, so there were a lot of like kids and like families, but it was still really nice. I was looking for the viewpoint because there's all these photos of this beautiful viewpoint like high up overlooking the gorge, and I was like, where the hell is this? Like, it's literally not on the trail that I was following. And so I ended up going off the trail thinking I would find it if I went further down, and then like I kind of got lost. I got kind of lost and kind of like ended up on like going up. But yeah, I ended up like on this like hill, and I ended up in the middle of the forest, and I looked at the map and I was like, oh, I'm totally not supposed to be here. But and then I walked all the way down to the dam and was like, yo, I can't find the spot. And it turns out the spot was just on top of the bridge, which I expected, but there was like a chain link fence. So I was like, maybe that's not the spot, but it actually was. But I was more impressed with my hike afterwards. This is French's Ledge, something like that. And this is where I felt alive again and felt like, yes, these are the views that I like. Like, I love seeing like the mountain ranges just go on forever and ever. And I was super amazed. Like, this was definitely more of the kind of views I was looking for. And it really encouraged me to find more hikes like this one. After I happily celebrated finding some beautiful views up there, I headed to a rest stop to sleep for the night. And the reviews said that it was a really good view of the sunset, and it was. I caught a beautiful, beautiful sunset. It was a very small rest stop though, so it was like you feel kind of uncomfortable. Like, I was like, am I gonna get in trouble? Am I supposed to be here? But it was fine for one night. I wouldn't stay there for more than one night. The next day, suddenly it's freaking winter, it's freezing cold, and I had to bust out my parka, and I decided to go to this waterfall. It was a very short, easy hike. I actually can't remember the name, nor can I find it on my all trails. So I looked on Google, and I'm just assuming that this is the Bartlett Falls. It sounds kind of familiar. This waterfall had like several, I think like two or three waterfalls along the trail, and it was a very short one. It's just right off the road. Like, it's not a difficult hike at all. Before I head even more up north, I thought I would hit the Okemo Park Forest, but I don't even know. But it didn't go so well. I am in Okemo Park, national. I don't know if it's a state park or national park. I'm in Vermont. I put in I put a pin on the map where the trailhead is supposed to be, and it ended up like at this like lodge resort thing, and no one's there. And then, I mean, I think it's off season, so I don't know. I mean, it says like unauthorized vehicles will be like towed or immobilized, but there's no one there. I tried to go to the first floor where there's like a coffee house, and like it says like lift and trails, but like the door was locked on the stairway, and on the elevator it just wouldn't go to floor 1. Like, it just so I don't really know. I'm just like, this is supposed to be where I don't know. I'm afraid to park. I don't think anyone's gonna tow me or immobilize my car, but just in case, I'm like, well, I guess I'm not gonna do this hike. I don't even know where the trail is. Like, I'm looking on the map, I'm looking at all trails, and I'm like, this is like literally like so random. Like, I'm so confused. So yes, I did not find the trailhead, but the drive up the mountain was really, really nice. I still got a beautiful view. I did try to find out where the trail started, but honestly, it didn't really seem worth it. And I was like, you know what, there are better things I can go do and see, and you know, there are other mountains. So I actually drove all the way back to pretty much almost exactly to where I slept the night, which was like 30-40 minutes away, almost an hour. And I decided to do Mount Killington. And this was amazing. This was like a 6-mile hike uphill. It was like not a difficult hike, but it was long and arduous, and I was so exhausted. Like, some dude walked by me, he was like, this isn't even that bad. And I was like, I know, I'm just out of shape, okay? Like, I haven't done crazy hikes in a long time. Like, this was the first one in a long time, and man, it took me a while, but I made it up, and that's all that matters. And I was very, very pleased with the view. Like, I was like, geez, I really hope this is worth it. And I passed by another hiker, and he was like, oh yeah, like you're gonna love the view, it's gonna be really good. And I was like, all right, sweet. So yeah, had a great time there, and I definitely relaxed up there because it was such a long freaking hike. Then came the weekend, and I usually just kind of chill during the weekend. I was still looking for like some hikes and trying to get some things done on my to-do list for Vermont. And I caught this beautiful sunset while driving and had just like a chill little weekend. And then Halloween came. I swear on my life, I do not just walk around my hikes dressed like a cat. This was on Halloween, and I was heading to this viewpoint. Honestly, like, I got kind of lost, so it wasn't that great. But the waterfall on the way was awesome. Like, I wasn't expecting to see such a beautiful waterfall. I actually went the wrong direction for like a pretty long time until I realized that I was not hitting the viewpoint. And then when I finally hit the viewpoint, I was like, I don't even know if this was worth it, to be honest. But yeah, I felt kind of dumb, like just like prancing around like a cat. But it was Halloween. I wanted to be in the spirit. I was actually shopping for groceries in the morning, and I just found like the cat ears, tail, and gloves, and just bought it on the spot. Man, I was so excited for my next hike. So excited. Unfortunately, I chose the wrong day, but I saw the rain clouds coming in. It started to mist as I started the hike, but I already started. I wasn't just gonna stop. I did check the weather, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be cloudy, but sometimes clouds are nice. That was not the case. I hiked directly into the cloud, and the photos looked so amazing. I was like, damn, well, I guess I gotta redo it. But when I made my way down, it was a really, really good climb, really good hike. I did go to this short little hike, this little waterfall, and I didn't really spend too much time there. Honestly, it was cold and wet and like a little bit rainy. So I decided I'll come back and do Mount Hunger again, and I needed to find somewhere to sleep. And the sunset's a lot earlier now, so I was just driving through the super spooky vibes for the night. But I made my way somewhere, and then I did one of the little hike trails that was on my to-do list. The Colchester Causeway bike path. Hikers are welcome too, of course. But yeah, it was super, super beautiful. I kind of wanted to be there for sunset, but I was kind of just having like a chill day. After doing that strenuous hike the other day into the clouds, like that one was like, you actually had to like scramble climb up like a lot of it. I did think about coming back for sunset, but I think I ended up just chilling somewhere with Wi-Fi so that I could just kind of like relax a little bit. Honestly, my other hikes I had planned just did not look that exciting in comparison to the one that I did the other day, Mount Hunger. So I decided to go back. I drove all the way back, and I took a different route, and my God, it was so like scary. It was kind of terrifying. You're like on the edge of the rock, like it does not look that scary in the pictures and the videos, but man, it was like a steep rock. And yes, the rock was like grippy, so like I wasn't too concerned about sliding down, but like if I were to fall, like, I would have just rolled off the freaking rock. It was a lot of bare rock just going uphill, and it just seems super steep, and then there's no trees to catch you, there's nothing to grab onto, like you just have to rely on your soles of your feet. But anyway, I felt pretty accomplished after that, got a magnificent view, drove down this road and caught a beautiful, beautiful sunset, and decided I was satisfied with Vermont, and New Hampshire, here I come.